Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. In case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flexibility practice. I'm going to use a couple blocks today. If you've got a pillow that you like to use, have it close by just in case. And let's get started. So let's begin today laying down. So I'm going to lay on my blocks, but if you'd rather lay on a pillow, you can do that too. Or you can lay flat on your back, of course. So I'm going to place a block under my head and underneath my upper back. I'm also going to make a diamond shape with my legs to get into my hips a little bit as well. And if you're laying on blocks, just be careful. You might have to move them around a little bit so you feel balanced and supported. And if they are nice, hard blocks, like mine, it might feel really good, or it might be not so nice if you're not used to it, but feel free to take them out from under you, lay on a pillow instead. If your arms want to come to your sides, let your palms face up. And maybe your legs would rather go out long or be in a different position. But once you have decided how you are going to be laying down to start our practice today, close your eyes. Scan your body all the way from your toes to the crown of your head. Just check in with how you are feeling today. Check in with your breath. How does it feel to breathe today? Maybe it's effortless, soothing. Or maybe you need to put a bit of effort into enjoying the breath. Kind of evening out the inhales and exhales. And as much as you may be enjoying where you are, slowing down your day, I'm going to move a little bit, so feel free to join me. I'm just going to send my legs out long and bring them together. I'm also going to move my arms closer to my side, so taking your palms to face them down now. They might actually slide just slightly under your hips, tucking your elbows in towards the sides. Now, depending on what you're laying on, this may work. Supported fish pose. If you aren't laying on anything at all, you can lift your chest, find your forearms. Do the same thing without anything underneath you. And just another breath here. Before we start to move again, you can start to bend your knees, plant your feet. You can relax your arms, maybe move them out a little bit wider if you were tucking them in. And then if you are still laying on top of something, let's sit up just enough, take it out from under you. Move everything off to the side so that you can lay flat on your back. Bring the length back into your spine. You might keep your knees towards the chest or your feet planted on your mat, but just connect your low back. Maybe add a gentle rock side to side, massage the low back. Notice the sensations running throughout your body. And then deciding if you're gonna roll over or rock yourself forwards, we're gonna come up onto our hands and knees into tabletop. If you do have blocks to use today, you might want them at the top of your mat. But find your hands and knees to start. Maybe give your hips a gentle rock side to side. We're just going to be reaching our arms out in front for puppy dog. I'm going to place my hands on my blocks, but you can definitely have your hands on your mat. Just finding some length through your arms and then melting your forehead and your chest down. Keeping your hips high. Feeling the love through your shoulders. Through your arms, maybe up the spine to the hips. Staying for just another breath before you let an inhale help you lift back up. Bringing your hands under your shoulders back into your tabletop. You might take a rock of the hips, maybe even a rock of the shoulders a little bit. And then you can start to extend your right leg back behind you. Tuck your toes, push the ball of your foot into the ground. You can walk your foot over towards the left side, pushing into the foot a little bit, trying to send your hips over towards the right side. And then while we're here and you feel like maybe you can take some weight out of the left hand, you might try to turn your fingertips to point towards the bottom of your mat or towards your left knee. Adding a little forearm and wrist action here, but just if it feels good. And if you did add the left wrist, flip your hand back so that you can walk your right leg back behind you and then slide your knee in too, maybe rocking the hips a little bit. And then the left leg can extend, maybe walking the foot over towards the right, pushing into the ball of the foot a little bit, trying to send the hips towards the left side. And staying here, or if the right hand does want to turn, you can add that in. Awesome, you guys. Letting the right hand come back first, and then the left leg too. Can come back into your tabletop. If you do want to take the weight out of your hands, feel free to sit back on your heels, adding some wrist circles perhaps. Little forearm massage even. We're going to be making our way into pigeon from here though, with our right leg forwards. So you can slide your right leg forwards, lay down your shin, moving any blocks out of the way. Our left leg will stay back behind us. Kind of scooch around a little bit so that you feel centered, balanced, not tipping over too much to one side compared to the other. You can use an inhale to lift up through the chest, maybe push into your fingertips a little bit more. Allow your shoulders to fall from your ears. Close your eyes. How are your hips doing today? If you want to tip forwards, you can tip forwards, maybe resting your forehead on something. Maybe it's your arms, maybe it's a block or a pillow. Take just one more breath here. And then using an inhale to lift your upper body. If you're folding forwards, we're just going to kind of roll to the right side. I want you to bring your left leg all the way and on top of the right leg. So now we're in double pigeon with our left leg on top. So you might be leaning back here. Flex your feet, point your toes forwards, trying to stack your lower legs on top of one another. So your foot on your knee and then your knee on top of your foot. Not here too long though. If it does feel good to tip forwards, you can tip forwards. And then just using an inhale to slowly lift back up. You can uncross your legs, maybe shake it out a little, give your knees a hug. We'll just be making our way back into tabletop and then switching sides. So our left leg can come forwards to set up for pigeon whenever you're ready to do so. Take your time. Sink into those hips. Find that centered place. Maybe starting to let your eyes close, your chest lift, your shoulders soften. Maybe you will stay lifted or fold forwards, perhaps resting your forehead on something. Let's stay for just another breath. And then use an inhale to lift if you're folding. Kind of roll or tip over towards the left side so you can swing your back leg forwards. Your right leg will be on top this time for your double pigeon. Point your toes forwards, flex the feet a little bit. Leaning back perhaps, sitting tall maybe, tipping forwards. Nice job, you guys. Use an inhale to find your way back up. If you're folding, you can uncross your legs, give your knees a hug or a squeeze. And then we're going to set up for a wide straddle. So I'm just going to have my blocks close by, just in case, maybe in front of you. Bringing your legs out nice and wide so that you feel some love through your inner legs. You can point your toes up. You might be leaning back a little bit, lengthening through the spine, but your hands can be behind you for support. Push into your fingertips. Or you might be tipping forwards a little. I'm going to use my blocks today, but you can just have your hands on the ground. And we're just going to walk our hands over towards our right leg. And maybe the blocks are useful to bring the ground a little higher up. Maybe they are just in the way. But just think about turning your chest towards your right leg. So maybe you're not tipping forwards, maybe you're just sitting tall, twisting. Maybe you are tipping forwards a little bit more though, but keep pointing your toes up, especially that left leg, the one that we're not looking at. Keep pointing those toes up. Let your chest tip towards your knee as much as it wants to. And then if you are tipping forwards, just slowly start to lift back up. Lift all the way back up, but maybe move your blocks a smidge closer towards your upper body. See if you can twist, turn the chest just a smidge more, a smidge, word of the day maybe, towards the right, to twist just a little bit further. Maybe your left hand can move to the outside of the right leg or on top of the right leg for just a little extra. And then release, relax. Let your chest turn to face forwards. If the blocks are useful, walk them over towards the other side, your other leg. Take a moment to just stretch, relax, tip forwards. Point your toes up. And if you are folding forwards and you do want to try and twist just a little bit more, you might lift back up. Maybe move the blocks. Try to turn the chest just a smidge more towards the left. Maybe moving your hands. Maybe the right hand can rest on top of your knee or reach for the block that's on the outer edge of your leg. Takes a lot of effort to add that extra bit of twist. And you can start to relax. Move your blocks off to the side. Maybe add just a tip forwards first before we come out of this. But eventually bring your hands to your legs, helping them come back together. Giving your knees a squeeze. Rock it out. Awesome, you guys. We can lay down. We can make our way into Shavasana from here. And whatever that is going to look like for you. I'm actually going to lay on my block again, just one this time. You can lay flat on your back, have everything out long, arms, legs out long. I'm going to come into a diamond shape again with my legs. And let my head fall back. Just finding a comfy place for you to spend these last few moments before you have to carry on with your day. I do encourage you to stay here for as long as you have time for. Just feeling the breath. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again very soon, and until then, namaste.